The 4Ds of diagnosis help explain how you can have autistic or ADHD traits and never meet criteria for full diagnosis. I'm a licensed psychologist who works with people with neurodevelopmental differences. And I can't tell you how many people are out there who feel frustrated because they feel like they should meet criteria for a diagnosis, or they have a diagnosis and they feel like they shouldn't. And before you grab your pitchforks, hear me out. See, a diagnosis is a medical tool. It's a classification system used to identify conditions and inform treatment. And the diagnostic system can classify almost anything. There's even a diagnosis for being struck by a duck. Go look it up. Unless something meets specific criteria and checks one of the boxes for the 4Ds of diagnosis, chances are a diagnosis will not be provided. The 4Ds of diagnosis are dysfunction, meaning something doesn't work, distress, meaning it causes some kind of pain or discomfort, either to the patient or the people around them, deviance, meaning it violates social norms or causes someone to break rules, or danger, which is pretty self-explanatory. And if none of those 4 things are going on in a meaningful way, then a diagnosis might not be provided. There are plenty of people out there with autistic and ADHD traits who don't meet full DSM criteria, but their lived experience may be more similar to people who do have a diagnosis than to the people who don't, or more neurotypical folks. Moreover, there are loads of ADHD and autistic folks out there who have learned to hide and mask their traits so well that even if they were to go and get formally tested, there's a chance they may not receive a diagnosis. And none of this means that their struggles or their experiences aren't real. So you might be asking yourself, what do I do with this information? So if you haven't been tested, or if you have been tested and you didn't meet criteria for a diagnosis, what can you do to describe your experiences to other people? If certain traits resonate with you, you can always say, I have ADHD traits, or I have autistic traits. Or you can say, I think I fit the ADHD or autistic neurotype. Again, diagnosis is a clinical threshold, and it's not the only language available for you to understand yourself.